Hi, I'm Mark and I'm passionate about English. Okay, for today's mini lesson, I'm not going to do any idioms unless I suddenly think of one. Sometimes I can't resist throwing in an idiom. But as you can see behind me is a hot air balloon. But this balloon is actually tethered to the ground by a kind of rope. And it goes up quite high, and you can see miles and miles around. It's really good, but it's quite late in the evening now. It's nearly 9 o'clock, so they've stopped. But I will try and come another time and add it on to the end of this mini lesson because it is quite interesting. To be honest, I have a fear of heights. I don't really have many fears, but I kind of don't like going up in something like this, or in a high building and looking like the Eiffel Tower and going near the edge. What are you afraid of? And you would say, I'm afraid of spiders, I'm afraid of snakes, or I've got a fear of spiders, I've got a fear of snakes. Okay, so I'm going to look at lots of phrasal verbs with up. And there's a really wonderful movie called Up. And I think, if I remember rightly, it's about an old man whose wife has died and he's going to be evicted. Evicted means thrown out or moved on from where he lives by some big business. And he decides to tie lots of balloons to his house, and he goes on a really lovely journey. And well, it's an animation, but it's actually, we would say, a tear jerker. So if a movie is a tear jerker, it means it makes you cry. And I must confess that I did cry during this movie. It's really lovely, and I really recommend you watch that. Probably you can see it on YouTube. Okay, so some of these will be quite easy, but it's good to be reminded of them. So, grow up. So I grew up in Wales. It means when you were a child. When did you go from being little to being bigger? And I think also I explained in another mini lesson, so to grow up is something you do, but if by your parents or by your carers, we would say, my mother brought me up in Wales, or my adoptive parents brought me up. Okay, another one is cheer up. Now, if somebody's a bit sad or unhappy, you could say to them, cheer up. It's like saying, come on, be happy, enjoy life. It's very, very common. One which I'm sure you know is get up. So this morning I got up at 7 o'clock, I think, and then I uploaded today's mini lesson. So that's a very easy one, I'm sure you know. Give up is another one that's been in a previous mini lesson. Give up just means you stop doing something. So let's say I was finding these mini lessons very difficult and nobody's watching them, and I just decided enough is enough. So I decide to stop. I give up. But that's not true. It's an example. I'm getting lots and lots of interest, and which I'm very happy about. Okay, another one is to brush up. So let's say I go to Greece in September, which is actually true. I'm planning to go to Greece for a week or two. And last year I went to Greece and I learned some Greek, but now I forgot it, most of it. So I could say I need to brush up on my Greek. Brush up on, we often say. So it means I just need to have another look and start practicing again and start looking at my Greek phrase book, and just to start improving again. And I told you I'm bound to think of an idiom while I'm doing this. If we say it's Greek to me, it means it's something I just do not understand. Could be some mathematics, or could be a language, could be anything. If you really don't understand it at all, we say it's Greek to me. And I know in other languages, I think perhaps in Dutch they say, obviously in Dutch, it's Chinese to me, or something like that. So it just means it's completely impossible for me to understand. Okay, to pick up. Okay, so pick up, let's say I pick up my glasses, they're on the grass, and I pick them up. But also, let's say again, when I go to Greece in September, I pick up lots of Greek expressions. So it means I just learn. Maybe I don't study so hard, but because I go to restaurants and some bars and the Greek people teach me, so sort of naturally I learn expressions. So I pick up lots of Greek expressions. Again, can be used for lots of different things, not just a language. Okay, liven up. I think again in a previous lesson I gave the example of going to a party. There's not many people there, and I say to my girlfriend, I hope the party livens up soon. I hope it becomes more lively, more exciting, more enjoyable. Okay, that's easy. Okay, this is a very useful one, which maybe is somehow more difficult to understand. To put up with something. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear, but there's a lot of noise going on. There's a big event in Bournemouth tonight, a lot of things to do with cycling, and I can hear quite a lot of music. Maybe you can't, but I kind of put up with it. I tolerate it. It's not going to bother me, and I hope if you hear it, you can put up with it. Let's use my mother again. She hates it when I mention her in the mini lessons. But yeah, as I said in a previous mini lesson, she goes on about me having a goatee, this kind of bit of beard around my mouth. And I don't let it worry me. I put up with it. I just accept her criticism in some way, and I don't worry about it. Okay, stand up. Well, I could demonstrate, but of course that's very easy. If I'm sitting on the grass now, but if I stand up, it means obviously I get on my feet and stand up. And of course the opposite is to sit down, or even to lie down. Speak up. Okay, if let's say I'm talking very quietly, you could shout at the video, "Speak up!" It's because you can't hear me. Or if you are in a group of people, let's say you're at a circle of people and one person is saying something and they are speaking very quietly, and you could say, "Could you speak up, please? Could you speak louder?" It's easy, but again, maybe it's something you don't use so often. Hurry up, that's easy. Or we could say, get a move on. It means be quicker, please. Let's go. I want to go. So hurry up. Get ready. Tidy up. Okay, so this is something you would do usually at home. So I do like to keep my flat tidy. So if for example, when I'm getting ready for mini lessons, I've got lots of bits of paper and books around my joke book, microphone and camera, and afterwards I would tidy up. I'd put it all nice and tidy and neat, or we often use the expression neat and tidy, so things are in their right place. It's not quite clean, because of course clean is when you make things cleaner, but tidy is just you put things right. And yeah, okay. Break up. Okay, so this would often be used with boyfriend and girlfriend. So somebody could say to me, Mark, how's your girlfriend? I say, well, actually, we broke up last week. It means we finished, or we could also say we split up. So yes, that's another useful phrasal verb with up. Freshen up. Okay, so let's say after tonight's recording of this mini lesson, my friend says, let's go out for a meal. I say, well, actually, I need to go home first to freshen up. It means to kind of change my t-shirt, to maybe have a little wash, maybe brush my teeth, just sort of feel a little bit cleaner, to freshen up. Okay, to dress up. Dress up is when you wear nice clothes or special clothes. So not just a t-shirt and jeans, you make an effort. Could be you're going out for dinner or to a party, etc. Blow up. Okay, so this would often be used with, I guess, terrorism, when people blow up a building, or they blew up the Twin Towers, was it 10 years ago or 11, 12 years ago? So it's to put a bomb and the bomb explodes and the building blows up, or he blew up the building. Actually, I've just thought there is another expression. In a lesson I did recently, I was by the sea and I had to blow up the ring I was in. Basically, that means if something that you can inflate, it's okay, so you use your breath to inflate something. But again, we wouldn't use the word inflate so often. We would use the phrasal verb to blow up. Okay, own up. Own up is again very, very useful phrasal verb. Basically, it means to confess. So let's say you are learning English in a language school, and you decide to do something before the teacher comes in, like put super glue on the chair, and the teacher sits down and he tries to get up, but he's stuck to the chair. And he says, who did this? Who did this? I need to know. And nobody says, I did it. But maybe after you own up, you confess and say, I'm sorry, teacher, I did it. I own up. Look up, that's very, very easy, I'm sure. So let's say you don't know the word confess, so you look it up in the dictionary, or you look up confess in the dictionary. Keep up. Keep up means to stay with something. So let's say I came down to Bournemouth Gardens today on my bicycle, and if I'm with a friend, but they're a long way behind, I say, come on, keep up. It means stay with me, don't fall behind. Are you keeping up with these lessons? Are you managing to watch them all? Are you learning from them, etc.? Bring up. So I could say, I hate to bring this up, but this mini lesson is £100. So it means I hate to mention it or to say it. And it's often used sort of in a negative context. So yes, or your boss could say to you, I'm sorry, but I need to bring this up. You've been late every day this week and it's not acceptable. Okay, this is one of those where I would recommend you look it up in case I haven't explained it enough. To turn up. Okay, let's say I was talking about going to a party earlier, and I hope the party livens up, and then my friend turned up. Okay, it basically means he arrived. But as I said before, of course you can say arrive, but we use phrasal verbs so often, and we don't think of them as phrasal verbs. They're just so common. And don't think of them as something difficult. Just you learn them one by one, and hopefully by grouping them together with up and the balloon in the background, maybe it makes it easier for you to remember them. Screw up. Okay, screw is, let's do this, but actually to screw up means to make a mistake. So occasionally when I've done these lessons, I've screwed up. Perhaps I forgot to turn the microphone on, or something I did, I made a mistake and I couldn't use the recording. So I screwed up. I did it wrong. I made a mistake. Okay. One more. It's up to you. That means it's your decision. So again, I'm with a friend and we are trying to decide where to go for a meal or for a drink. I say, I don't mind. It's up to you. It means you decide. One thing I should say, which is really quite important, is I don't mind and I don't care. I don't care is quite negative. So if someone says, where do you want to go for a meal? And you say, I don't care. It's like you're not really interested. So a much more positive thing to say is, I don't mind. So it's like saying, I'm easy. Italian is good. Thai is good, or whatever. So don't confuse those two. I don't mind and I don't care. Okay, so the joke, I've tried to make it appropriate. So it's not a usual kind of joke. It's like, well, you'll understand. For sale. Parachute. Only used once. Never opened. Small stain. So this would, these sort of things appear in newspapers and so on. But the joke here is, because it's a parachute, it's only been used once, but never opened. So we'd often say with something that you're trying to sell, you didn't open it, which is great. But of course, if a parachute's never been opened, it's not so good. And small stain. A stain is like a mark or something on something, which would, of course, reduce the price a bit. If you try and sell a dress, but it's got a little stain or a mark, could be, I don't know, some coffee or something. But of course, the small stain here is talking about blood, because somebody is selling the parachute which didn't open, and the stain is blood. So it's quite a sick joke, actually, but it's funny. Okay, and one other thing which is connected as well with skydiving. Of course, with a parachute and skydiving, you go down rather than up. But we have an expression: if at first you don't succeed, try, and try again. But the joke here is, if at first you don't succeed, skydiving isn't for you. So if you fail once in skydiving, you're dead. So obviously you're not going to try it again. Okay. The question today is, again, connected with the Beatles. If you never saw one of these mini lessons, I do a question and a hum. And if you can answer each one in July, you can win the first course for free. The courses start in September. So this is going to be very, very easy. The sun is going down at the moment, and in the song, Here Comes the Sun. Okay, I'm going to sing the first bit, and you just have to complete the next bit. So, here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say... Okay, so what's the next little bit? All right. And the hum. Now, often at a birthday party, people will use or sing happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. And often they'll use the Stevie Wonder song, happy birthday to you. But the Beatles actually had a song. Oh, I nearly said it. Anyway, I'm going to hum the song, so that's going to be much easier for you today. But this is, I think, from the White Album, which was very near the end of the Beatles. So here we go. Okay, I've got a bit lost there, but the first bit is fairly easy, and because I gave you a big clue at the beginning, it shouldn't be so difficult. Okay, so that's your mini lesson for today. As the balloon is not going up now because it's late in the evening, I'll pop down sometime. Pop down just means come down for a short time and film the balloon. And I'm sure some of you watching these mini lessons have been up in the balloon, and it might be a nice memory for you seeing it going up. Okay, see you again. Bye for now. Okay, so here is the balloon going up slowly. You'll be surprised how high it actually goes, and you can see the kind of well, it's not rope, I guess it's made out of metal, but that's tied down to the ground, or you could say anchored down, and up it goes. I think it takes a minute or two. There's actually only a few people in it at the moment. It's we would say it's overcast today. That means it's mainly cloudy, or in fact it's completely cloudy today. No blue sky, so that's overcast. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just pause and go back a bit so you can see better. Okay, so here we are again. It's not so easy to show you that it is very high, so I'm just going to slowly come back down. And this is Bournemouth Gardens, or we could say the Bournemouth Lower Gardens. Lots of people here. It's not so busy as it can be, but there are many foreign students who come down here to hang out. Hang out means sort of just to chat with their friends and relax. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much, and see you in the next mini lesson. Bye for now.